Welcome to the ASTRALX Deep Dive, Illuminating Your Path. I'm Lunaria Selene, your intuitive guide.
And I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist.
We're here to bridge celestial wisdom and really unlock your modern parenting path.
Discovering those guiding starlight insights, exploring the cosmic energies that shape your child's mind.
Exactly. And today we're tackling a really foundational question. How does your child's Mercury sign reveal their unique language of learning?
It's a fascinating one. We've gathered quite a range of sources for this deep dive, haven't we?
We really have. Everything from, ancient myths right through to contemporary developmental psychology. It's going to be insightful.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Our journey into understanding Mercury, it really begins with its core essence. We need to trace its archetype, across different cultures.
Right.
So we see Hermes, the swift messenger from Greek myth, and he famously learned through doing.
Yes, like the story of stealing Apollo's cattle.
Exactly. Right at sunrise, it wasn't just like mischief for mischief's sake.
No, it was a demonstration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Learning by action.
Totally. And then you have Thoth, the Egyptian deity, meticulously scripting knowledge, and Buddha from Hindu tradition, revered as the ruler of intellect itself.
And even Odin, right, from Norse myth, sacrificing an eye for wisdom.
Yes. It all echoes that same relentless quest for understanding that Mercury represents.
It's fascinating, really, how these universal archetypes, they all consistently highlight Mercury's fundamental role.
In how we perceive things.
Yes, and process and communicate information. If we kind of step back and look at the bigger picture, it's about the mechanism of learning itself.
Okay.
The foundational way your child's mind is wired, to absorb and express. It's not just what they learn.
But how it actually lands for them, how it resonates.
Precisely.
So how do these ancient ideas, these archetypes, translate into something, practical for understanding our kids today?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? Our research really shows how this cosmic messenger, Mercury, translates directly into your child's innate learning style.
And it comes down to the element.
It really does. It all comes down to the element of their Mercury sign. It gives you a really clear lens.
Okay, so let's break that down. Fire signs first.
Yeah, let's start there. If your child has Mercury in a fire sign, so that's Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius.
Okay.
They are natural kinesthetic learners. They literally learn through movement, through hands-on exploration.
Through doing things physically.
Exactly. Very dynamic, very physical.
So for a kid like that, sitting still listening to a lecture, that might be genuinely tough.
Oh, absolutely. A significant challenge.
Yeah.
Now, contrast this with Mercury in the air signs.
Gemini, Libra, Aquarius.
Right. These children thrive in very different environments. Think debate, lively discussion, rich social exchange.
Talking things through.
Yes. Their minds are sparked by that back and forth of ideas, by conversation, the intellectual dance of different viewpoints.
And you see this developmentally, right?
Oh, so clearly. Fire Mercury toddlers, for instance, they need kinetic play, like building blocks, exploring textures, imaginative movement.
Right. Way more than flashcards.
Far more, yes. And conversely, you take Air Mercury teens, they'll often just excel in something like a Socratic seminar.
Where they can really dig in and question things, debate.
Exactly. Much more than they would in, silent, solitary study.
And there's this other connection you found, which is, it's pretty remarkable, bridging the cosmic and the neurological.
Yes. This was fascinating. Mercury's incredibly rapid orbit, just 88 days around the sun.
Okay.
It seems to mirror the rapid synaptic pruning that happens in childhood brains.
Wow. So like the brain making connections really fast, just like Mercury moves fast.
It's almost like a cosmic blueprint, you could say, an energetic echo of how quickly our children's minds are developing, shaping connections, streamlining pathways, especially in those early years.
So this mirroring, it suggests that early childhood is critical not just for what they learn, but for how their brain is getting wired for learning itself.
Precisely. This cosmic blueprint idea really underscores that critical window for nurturing their innate learning style right from the start.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. This isn't just Western astrology, is it? The sources offer some incredible global perspectives, and even specific cultural remedies.
Absolutely. It gets really interesting here. Take the Vedic tradition, for example.
Okay.
A child with Mercury in Gemini, they call it Mithuna Rashi.
Mithuna Rashi, got it.
Well, the understanding there is that they learn best through the power of storytelling and through collaborative partnerships.
Imagine knowing that, how it could shape how you help them study or learn new things.
Right. It illustrates so well that while the astrological foundation, the core energetic blueprint of Mercury is universal, the application, how it's expressed, can be beautifully tailored to different cultural contexts. It's not rigid.
It's more like a flexible guideline.
Exactly, like the Tokyo astrologer Kaiko Oikawa notes.
Mm.
She says, Air Mercury children in Japan benefit from Hansei.
Hansei. What's that?
Those reflective discussion rituals they often do after school.
Ah, okay. So it's not just reviewing homework.
No, it's about processing experiences verbally, which is, a fundamental need for Air Mercury types. And it's woven right into the cultural fabric there.
Finding resonance within their world. That makes sense.
It does. And then you look at cultural remedies.
Like for the Fire Mercury kids, who might have that restless energy.
Yes. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, suggests cooling remedies, things like peppermint tea.
Oh, interesting.
And creating calming study spaces, maybe using blue tones. It helps them settle and focus that fiery energy.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How different traditions arrive at similar ideas about balancing energy.
It truly does. And it goes beyond culture, too. The sources reveal fascinating somatic layers, how these energies connect right to the body.
Somatic, meaning body-based.
Exactly. Tangible ways to support your child. So for Fire Mercury children, maybe they're feeling frustrated, stuck on something.
Yeah.
A simple but powerful technique is to have them tap their solar plexus. Place a hand there, breathe into that fire.
Ah, like physically connecting with that energy center to calm it down.
Precisely. It centers their energy, helps release that frustration.
Okay. And for Air Mercury kids?
Well, if they're preparing for something verbal, like a presentation or maybe a tricky conversation, humming can be incredibly beneficial. It activates the throat chakra.
Like tuning their instrument before they play.
That's a great way to put it. Tuning their instrument for clear, calm expression. These aren't just, abstract concepts.
They're tangible things you can actually do.
Right. To support their energetic blueprint, help them feel more grounded and expressive in their own unique way. And, speaking of timing, we should mention Mercury retrograde.
Ah, yes. The classic communication chaos period.
Well, yes, it gets that reputation. But astrologically, those phases when Mercury appears to move backward, they're actually naturally designed as review periods.
Okay, so not necessarily a time to panic.
Not at all. For your child, it can be a cosmic invitation, a time to revisit and really solidify what they've learned, rather than pushing ahead with brand new, complex stuff.
A time for integration. Mastery, even.
Exactly.
That is such illuminating advice for parents, for caregivers, trying to navigate this daily dance with their child's learning style. And the sources offer even more actionable stuff, right? Like journal prompts, ritual blueprints, even conflict resolution strategies.
They do. Really practical tools. Take this journal prompt, for example. It asks you, the parent, to reflect. When does my Virgo Mercury, which tends to be critical, analytical, clash with my child's Sagittarius Mercury, which is often impulsive, expansive.
Right, you can see the potential friction there.
Definitely. And the prompt suggests, write down their likely comebacks.
Ooh, that's good. It's not just understanding the clash, but anticipating it, preparing for it.
Turning potential conflict into conscious interaction. It encourages that self-awareness in the parent, which is just foundational.
And the rituals sound lovely. What was the new moon learning reset?
Yes. Such beautiful, tangible ways to engage. For your Fire Mercury kids who thrive on action, manifestation, the suggestion is planting seeds while actually reciting their learning goals.
Oh, I love that. Kinesthetic and symbolic.
Totally. And for your Air Mercury children, all about ideas, communication. The ritual involves releasing wish-written balloons into the sky, symbolizing releasing intentions, aspirations into the ethers.
Marking those new learning cycles intentionally.
Exactly. And there's also an embodiment exercise called kinesthetic mirroring, where the parent copies the child's movements for just 2 minutes.
Why?
It's ideal for Fire Mercury kids. It helps build focus, connection through shared physical expression. It creates this nonverbal bond.
That's really interesting. Okay, let's make this intention more real. Let's talk about a common conflict scenario one many parents might recognize. The sources mention the classic Gemini mom versus Taurus child dynamic.
Ah, yes. The mom who loves analytical talk wants to dissect everything.
And the child who can be prone to that stubborn silence, especially around homework.
Oh, the homework standoff. Yes, incredibly relatable. One wants to talk it out, the other just clams up.
So if you're that Gemini parent facing the Taurus silence, what's the first step? How do you even start bridging that gap?
Well, the sources suggest thinking about it even before the conversation starts. Looking at timing, yes, but also something quite physical.
Physical?
Indeed. The solutions offered are really layered and quite profound. First, astrotiming.
Okay.
Our sources suggest trying these conversations during Mercury-Jupiter aspects.
Alignments between communication, Mercury, and wisdom or expansion, Jupiter.
Right. Those planetary energies tend to foster more openness, more understanding. It's like catching a favorable cosmic wind.
Makes sense. What else?
Then there are specific stones that can help support the energy. Maybe carnelian for fire Mercury kids to ignite motivation, or aquamarine for air Mercury, encouraging that calm, clear expression.
Little energetic allies?
Kind of. And perhaps the most surprising is a somatic fix for that Taurus child. Using pressure hugs before attempting the verbal processing with the Gemini parent.
Pressure hugs, like a firm, grounding hug.
Exactly. That physical grounding can create the feeling of safety needed for the intellectual exchange to even begin. You have to meet them in their body first, you know.
Wow. Meeting them where they are physically to open the door mentally, that's powerful.
It really is.
Okay, looking ahead now, the sources give us a future forecasting alert, something particularly relevant for like 2025, 2026, and beyond.
Yes, this is really important context. With Pluto moving through Aquarius, that's a long, powerful transit, 2024 to 2043.
Right, a big societal shift.
A very big one. And during this time, our air Mercury children will naturally deeply crave tech-based learning.
Okay, so a pull towards digital exploration, connection.
A very strong pull. This era ushers that in. Now, the guidance isn't to just resist it. It probably won't work anyway.
So what then?
It's about setting digital boundaries, but doing it consciously, using Venus-ruled timers.
Venus-ruled timers, like what?
Like a beautiful rose quartz hourglass, perhaps. Something that infuses intention and beauty into their tech time.
Ah, reminding them of balance, but in an aesthetically pleasing Venusian way.
Exactly. It's about mindful integration, not just restriction.
This definitely raises big questions about adapting to how education itself is evolving.
Huge questions.
Why?
We really have clear choice paths unfolding, optimizing for these energies. Well, it could look like fire Mercury children thriving in activities like, say, sports coding.
Sports coding, blending the physical and the digital.
Precisely. Blending their inherent kinesthetic needs with the demands of the digital age. They can literally do technology.
Okay. And the potential downside if we don't adapt.
Well, ignoring an air Mercury child's deep-seated need for debate, for verbal processing, that could tragically lead to social anxiety.
Because their primary way of engaging is being stifled.
Exactly. If they can't talk things through, hash things out, they can withdraw. It's about recognizing and honoring their core nature to prevent challenges down the line.
It really is a call to mindful parenting in this rapidly changing world.
Absolutely.
You know, to make these concepts maybe a bit more relatable, the sources offered some really vivid pop culture metaphors.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a fire Mercury child, think of Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Learning to tame those dragons through trial and error, through hands-on experience, courageous action.
I can totally see that. That inventive, learn-by-doing spirit.
Right. And if your child has air Mercury, think Hermione Granger from Harry Potter.
Oh, perfect. Thriving in study groups, the intellectual exchange.
Mastering knowledge through debate and discussion with her friends.
Those are great examples. They really stick with you.
Yeah. And finally, it's important we frame all these insights inclusively, right?
Definitely.
The sources remind us to consider caregivers who might have Mercury in water signs.
Who naturally communicate with that nurturing, empathetic, sometimes indirect tone.
Right. And how that interacts with, say, a fire Mercury child who might respond better to really direct, action-oriented cues.
That's a powerful distinction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's about the parent understanding their own communication style.
Yeah, and how it might land, how it might be received by their child's innate wiring.
Precisely. It's all about finding that energetic balance, adapting your communication to meet your child where they are, acknowledging both your unique blueprint and theirs.
As a dance.
It really is. And just to reassure everyone, this comprehensive guidance, it's really anchored in solid research. It draws from revered ancient texts, cutting-edge developmental psychology, contemporary astrological practices.
All cross-referenced too, right?
Absolutely. Rigorously cross-referenced for accuracy. It's deeply validated knowledge.
As our cosmic journey concludes for today, we really encourage you to dive deeper into your own unique parenting path. You can request your personalized Mercury Learning Style audio reading via email now. Just find the link in the description below.
A great way to get tailored insights.
Definitely. And explore the episode resources, the ritual blueprints we mentioned, global astrological remedies. All those details are waiting for you there too.
Lots to explore.
Remember, nurture, ignite, soar.
Beautiful.
Subscribe for more Starlight Insights. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.